Megan Greene is a senior fellow at Brown University and global chief economist at Kroll. She joins me from San Francisco. Megan, good to have you. So I want to start with what Mary Daly was just talking about there, the labor market, because it is still very strong, right? The unemployment rate is at 3.7%. But one thing we hear so much from Chairman Powell is that he and the Fed believes that they can create some slack in the labor market by pulling from job demand, job vacancies, rather than actually creating job loss. But is there any evidence that they've done it in the past or can do it this time?
Yeah, look, this is a huge debate among macroeconomists. The Fed, led by Christopher Waller, actually, has argued that we have over 10 million job openings in the US. So the Fed can go ahead and tighten policy, lean against growth, kill off demand, and that should just whittle down some of those job openings. On the other hand, Larry Summers and Olivier Blanchard have come out and said, look, we've looked at all of the data, and that's a great theory. It's just never happened before. And I think the data is pretty clear on that. So it's something that works in theory better than in practice. And unfortunately, I think that in order to bring inflation down, the Fed will have to continue hiking rates. And we're going to see a deterioration in the labor market off the back of that. And the best indicator of a recession, of course, is a deterioration in the labor market.
And so what might that look like according to your forecast? I mean, we're currently at 3.7% for the unemployment rate. Are we talking about an increase of 6%, as I've seen some banks suggest, or something less severe?
So I think probably less severe than 6%. I would expect unemployment to probably rise above 5% if we're assuming that inflation is coming down towards the Fed's target of an average of 2%. Now, the Fed itself has its own forecasts, and it thinks that unemployment will top out just under 4.5%. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's realistic. I think the Fed's going to have to continue hiking rates. That will cause the labor market to deteriorate, and unemployment will probably breach 5%.
I want to circle back to what we're seeing in China. I mean, the last few weeks, I think there had been some hope, maybe prematurely optimistic, that China might start to relax some of its zero COVID policies. And yet we got these newer restrictions that seem to imply that's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, walk me through just some of the implications and the ramifications of that policy and the ripple effect just across the broader economy globally.
Yeah, look, I never bought the leaks that China was looking to get rid of its zero COVID policy. China's going to have a really hard time learning to live with COVID as the West has, in part because China just hasn't had the natural immunity from waves of new cases in the way that we have. They've got Sinovac, a less effective vaccine that doesn't have lasting implications. So after 6 months, you don't really detect Sinovac in someone's system. The elderly rate of vaccination is around 65%. That's well below where we are in the West. And so I think, you know, if they were to get rid of zero COVID, it would easily overwhelm hospitals. And that would be really unpopular in China, which has suffered very few deaths from COVID, relatively speaking, of course. And so I think they're tweaking zero COVID. They've tweaked zero COVID all along. It's already gotten much more tactical and surgical so that they're not having to shut down entire factories, for example. But I do think we're going to have zero COVID at least until this next summer. And that means that as we go into winter and there are new waves of cases, we're going to see lockdowns. I think that, you know, peak global supply chain interruptions are probably behind us. But if we have lockdowns, that will affect global supply chains, and that's inflationary. It also means that for China, if there's zero COVID policy still being implemented, confidence is going to remain incredibly low. And so the Chinese economy is going to remain relatively sluggish relative to historical norms. So whereas China grew by about 3% this year, I think it will probably accelerate to about 5% next year. But that's as good as it's going to get, in large part because confidence will be so low.
You also think about the impact of commodities, for example, oil prices, because there isn't that demand, you know, being stoked from the huge market in China. Megan Greene, good to have you.